When Sonic the Hedgehog was first released for the Sega Genesis back in 1991, it was a huge hit, of course. But nowadays, it seems that it's pretty divisive among fans. Some are saying that it hasn't aged very well and that it's poorly designed. Do I agree? Well, let's find out. I'm sure you all know by now, but Sonic was created to compete with Mario, and this game in particular was made to pretty much compete with Super Mario World. In fact, the Sega Genesis and SNES were huge competitors. Sonic the Hedgehog has you traveling through 6 zones in order to stop the evil Dr. Robotnik. Along the way, you also need to collect the 6 Chaos Emeralds. To do this, you need to collect at least 50 rings, and if done, you'll see a giant ring at the end of the act. Jumping into it will bring you to a special stage where you'll have a chance to collect one of the emeralds. You start off in Green Hill Zone, which is one of the most iconic levels in video game history, and there's a good reason for that, because it's really fast and fun. Then you have Marble Zone, which everybody shits on because it's too slow. But honestly, I have no problem with it. Yeah, sure, it's certainly not as fast as Green Hill, but I think it's perfectly fine. Controversial, I know. Next is Spring Yard Zone, which is also pretty fun, but has a few parts where you're just waiting for platforms. Then we get to Labyrinth Zone, which I don't think a single person likes. This zone is absolute shit and makes Marble Zone look exciting by comparison. You are very slow underwater, and as everyone knows, Sonic can drown, so be sure to not stay underwater for too long or else this will happen. After that is Starlight, where the speed kicks up a notch, and it's really fun. Then there's the hardest zone, Scrap Brain Zone. It's full of bombs, buzzsaws, and fire, so it's pretty intense. At the end of each zone, you fight Robotnik in one of his Eggmobiles. You don't fight him at the end of Scrap Brain, though. Instead, you have the third act dedicated to an underwater segment, so it's basically Labyrinth Zone Act 4. You then have a final zone, which is just a boss fight, and it's not even that hard once you get the hang of it. Now, you'll hear me mention this a lot, but the music in Sonic games is generally always great, and it's great here, too. The highlights for me in this game is Spring Yard and Labyrinth Zone. Yeah, the worst zone in the game has the best music, in my opinion. So that's the first Sonic game, and I think it's really good. I will admit that there's parts of it that haven't aged well, but I don't think it deserves the hate it now gets. And actually, funny story, the first time I played this game was the Game Boy Advance port, which any fan will tell you is the worst version of the game, due to the amount of slowdown, and the physics are all fucked up too. I don't own it anymore, but I just thought I'd mention that. In fact, just for fun, to prove to you how truly bad the Game Boy Advance version is, I'm going to show you a side-by-side comparison of the first few seconds of Green Hill Zone, and on the left side of the screen will be the Genesis version, and on the right side of the screen will be the Game Boy Advance version. I'm sure you'll be able to tell which version is which, but yeah, watch this, and you tell me which version looks better. I'm gonna give Sonic the Hedgehog an 8 out of 10. So yeah, Sonic, I think is a really fun game. I think the majority of zones are pretty good. They're pretty fun. I think it just doesn't, I think I do agree with some of the criticism that people are now saying about it these days, but I think it deserves a lot more praise now. Next week will be my review of the Game Gear version of the first Sonic game. So Sonic the Hedgehog for Game Gear. It's also for the Sega Master System, but I played the Game Gear version, so I'm going to be reviewing that version. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good night.